Yo, what's going on? You know what this is? This is me, Trayvon Jones, Conscious Talk Channel. Yo, you know, for the last couple of weeks, I've been just looking at a lot of videos and I've been seeing a lot of women, getting on social media and basically begging the powers that be that are in control of this whole Freaknik documentary to please lose the footage. Don't show my mama. Don't show the. Don't me. Nurse. I am a politician. I'm in the ministry, and I just don't want that to follow me. And I just don't want to do those type of things anymore. I tell you, I gotta get situated here. This phone is acting up, and this live is acting up. I think my Wi-Fi is going in and out. But like I was saying, these women, are really upset. They're upset that this documentary could possibly come out. They've been advertising it. A couple of rappers, are the ones that are in charge of this documentary. Jermaine Dupri being one of them, and I can't think of the other rapper, at the moment, but he's into all that kind of freaky shit. All that freaky type shit you can think of. He's in. I commend those who have changed. They have children now. They don't want their children to see them in that light. They're telling their children not to do these things. I want you to be, good. So I understand why, you would have a concern of this getting out to the public and people seeing you at a time that you were just wild and you just didn't care. And although people were recording, because they had camcorders back then, they didn't have all this video technology that we have now with our phones and things of that nature. They had camcorders back then, but you had a lot of people who whipped those camcorders out. And now after all these years, people were able to get all this They're able to get all this footage together. And now they're able to make a documentary about it. Now, the flip part about this whole thing is how this whole Freaknik thing even got started in the first place. It was a bunch of Atlanta students, who couldn't go home for break. When school would end, they were out on break. They couldn't get home. So they came up with something that they could have some fun, during their break. And it was supposed to be like just a simple little picnic type of situation where everybody just kind of gets together and just enjoy, having fun and things like that. But over the years, it just developed into this wild orgy, all throughout the 90s. And, it just developed into a wild orgy. And all the recording was going on, all the videotaping, it just kind of reminds me when, your grandmother, your grandfather, your mom, your dad say, what you do in the dark can come back into the light, and although, we're human and we don't want these type of things to happen, we just have to be aware that these things can happen. What you've done in the past, even though you may not be that way anymore, you're a different person now. You ain't wild like that. You sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, and you ain't like that no more. But all that video footage can still pop out on your ass. And what are you supposed to do? Well, you got some women who decided to, file a lawsuit to try to stop Hulu from showing this documentary. Now we're going to see how is that it's amazing to me. The reality is that it's amazing to me that you can be so embarrassed, but yet you can go on national in front of the whole world saying that, I was there just preparing people, letting people know, but I didn't do this and I didn't do that. You did everything. You did everything. But what you're hoping for is that no one recorded you. That's what you're hoping for. But if your ass was there, you were recorded, period and point blank. Now that we know that shame is starting to kind of come back now, men are bringing back shame. That's what we're seeing. So in all of this whole shame situation, you have women over here saying, well, you have men who were raping women, who were, just being aggressive with women and things of that nature. And I wouldn't put that past. I really believe that shit really did happen. And that's sick as fuck to just rape and take. And just because this female, and I'm gonna even say that, just because the female is at the damn Freaknik, she may not want to fuck you. She may not want to hook up with you. So in that aspect, just because she's at a Freaknik don't mean that she want to fuck you or your homies. It don't mean that. But a lot of women are saying that these things happen. Now, honestly, if these things did happen, I want to know, did people get arrested? Were police reports filed? That's what I want to know. Because if they weren't, they should have. But don't speak on it now if that shit didn't occur, if it didn't happen, if you didn't file police reports and people didn't go to jail, while attending this Freaknik and they were over here forcing themselves on women. I don't condone that, but if these things were really happening, I'm hoping that, police were involved. These people, these men that were doing that were arrested, charged, all of the above. But I noticed that a lot of women are saying that, well, a lot of men were just out there just raping women and doing things like that and doing this and doing that and trying to say a lot of men have to be worried about, shame themselves. But let's be honest, men ain't worried about no damn shame. Men can have, do a porno. They whole shit could be out there all over for the world to see. And it's just a difference with men versus women. Men get praised for being a freak and doing freaky ass shit. I mean, they even have pictures of Tupac out there. I ain't hearing no negativity about Tupac being out there at the Freaknik. They just say, oh yeah, Tupac was there. And then you even have some people that say, yeah, Pac was there. And they actually found the footage where Tupac was actually there at one of them damn Freakniks in the 90s. But nobody's tripping off of that. Nobody's tripping off the fact that the men were there. See, women are afraid of that. Women are afraid of the shame and, because, their children and their children's friends might see them and, things of that nature. Men ain't really tripping off of that. If some your kids' friends from the school saw your daddy back in the day on the Freaknik, they gonna be high-fiving their ass. Like, oh damn, your dad that's your pops? Oh, he's the shit. That's the kind of shit that, and it's not fair, but that's the kind of shit that would actually happen. You know what I'm saying? But under special circumstances, a man might get, shamed for, if he, depending on what he's in, or doing, if he has a certain type of profession or something like that. But other than that, men wouldn't be shamed for that. So nice try, on that one. But the reality is women are the ones that are afraid of being shamed and, being exposed. And you got women out here talking about, Lord, I want Jesus to take the wheel. I do not want, my family to see that I was at the Freaknik. And these women that are putting themselves out on social media saying that they were there, they're digging up the footage and finding it. They're finding these women. See, our grandparents were right. And I know we don't like to listen. We're young, dumb. We don't like to listen. But the reality is, when we do things, there's a consequence to it, good or bad. When we're putting things out there and we don't think about, years from now, you know, um, I might be in a different space, a different place. I'm a pastor now. I have kids and grandkids. I just don't want them to see that. But the reality is that you have to be careful whatever it is that you do now, because there are cameras everywhere. I don't care where you go, especially if you're going to an event, you're going out in public where there's a lot of people, there are cameras. So you're going to be caught on camera. So you got to be careful what you do. They're even catching people that think that they're hiding or they're going behind somewhere having sex. They're catching people because there's cameras all over the damn place. They can see it. It's just crazy. We just got to be careful about the things that we do, because again, what we do in the dark is going to come back on your ass. So now this lawsuit is being filed, because these women are feeling shamed, and although they ready to throw men under the bus, for being pervs and pigs and always want to just down men. But now that you have men just out here exposing not just the ladies, but everybody. But we all know that it's more so the ladies. They're doing any and everything that they can to try and stop it. They're saying, "Oh, hell no. Don't put my titties out there like that." I'm over here shaking my wop, and I don't want my children and my grandkids to see that now. The reality is your grandkids are gonna see it. Your kids are gonna see it, and it really ain't nothing you can really do about it. Now we're gonna see how far this lawsuit goes. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm these women who really think that they're better than men, especially black women who really believe that they're better than black men. In a lot of ways, they feel like their education, they're more educated, and they look down on men, and we're just overly sexual, and we're just all these type of things. But now we're seeing some of y'all ladies in your little prime where you were wilding out, doing the utmost disrespectful shit to yourself, and now you don't want the world to see it. That's amazing to me. I understand the shame thing, but it's time that we start bringing back shame. That's the only way things are going to change. See, when we take away shame and we just start praising people for all these, for doing what we know is the wrong thing, you're going to always get bad results. Because even though we have a society where women just kind of just want to do what they want to do and say what they want to say and act how they want to act, in certain situations, they still want to be thought of a certain way. They still want to be looked at a certain way. And they don't want you looking at them, gawking at them, or thinking that they're hoes when, a lot of times we know that's what the fuck they are, but they don't want to be looked at that way because they want to paint their own narrative, their own picture of how they want you to, how they want you to perceive them. And if they're being exposed, don't put them in a good light, and they're afraid of that. But I say, be afraid of it, deal with it. That's okay, because we need to start bringing back shame. And this is a good way to start bringing back some shame, by exposing. Because honestly, I'm not into religion like that. I'm not a Christian. I grew up, in Christianity. I'm not a Muslim. Although I do listen to a lot of the teachings. I do listen to a lot of, just different types of teachings. I read the Bible. I believe in the Bible. I believe in God, who we call God. But I really believe that we should start bringing back shame, because in bringing back the shame, that will allow us to fix a lot of the problems that we have. And what I'm noticing, even Christians who call themselves Christian, women who call themselves Christian, they don't act Christian like. They just, they wearing skimpy ass clothes, and they look like whores and hoochies, and these are supposed to be Christian women. The only women that I actually see who dress modestly, have some kind of shame face about themselves are the Muslim women. And I'm thinking, well, damn, are we gonna have to, when we get to a point, men decide that they want to start getting married, especially in America, are we gonna have to start seeking out Muslim type women who cover themselves up? And some would say that's extreme, but is it really? Because their necklace is supposed to be for the husband. And as a Christian, I believe that's what you're supposed to do. But a lot of Christians, they say certain things, they say they believe in God, but the reality is, a lot of Christians do not practice that Bible or what's in that Bible. They do not practice. They'll be a hoe on Saturday night, be at the club, drinking and smoking and doing God knows what, having orgies, and then Sunday morning they'll be right at church praising God, thanking God for the whole week, and getting through and all that kind of stuff. So to me, I always just thought that was phony. Even growing up in a Christian church, people that I knew were disgusting. People that I knew were just trifling and treacherous, and most of the Christian people that I knew were mean, had horrible attitudes, and things of that nature. And, I'm thinking, gee, is this what we're supposed to model ourselves after? That's crazy to me. I always thought something was wrong with that, So what I'm noticing is that a lot of the Muslim women are the ones that are actually looking more attractive these days. And I'm gonna be honest with you, because back in the day, I used to look at them, and a few of them used to kind of wait for me to kind of approach them. When I would be out and about sometimes, I would be approached sometimes at the grocery store, in casual conversation, whatever the situation is, by Muslim type women. And that was never my thing. You know what I'm saying? I used to always kind of like, a little sexiness is cool. You know what I'm saying? You can dress, look, but that's their religion. That's how, they're taught. And the older that I'm getting, the more I respect it and I understand it, and it just makes perfect sense. What's going on, Iron Will? Your body, quality. I feel you on that, but this is just a different perspective, and this is my perspective. Peace to you also, brother. But what I'm really noticing now is just the Muslim women are just are, in my opinion, are looking more attractive these days. Modesty and things of that nature, but that's just a personal opinion. But tell me what you think about this whole Netflix thing, with the whole Hulu situation, and you have a lawsuit that has been filed. And do you think that this lawsuit is going to shut this whole documentary down? Let me know in the comment section, and let me know. Tell me what you think. Like, share, and subscribe. Press that thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. And I'm going to see you all on the next video. Peace out, y'all.